Okay,
you always
alright.
need to be prepared for everything.
Okay.
You never know, you might need to blow your nose. Alright.
Cassandra, what does Cassandra mean? What does the name mean? I know it's got...
The mythology behind
Yeah.
it, as far as I know, is that she was a prophetess,
Okay,
but she was cursed. No one would believe
okay,
what she foresaw because
okay.
she fell in love with God,
Yeah.
but it was
yeah.
unrequited love, and so he cursed her.
Okay.
So I think what it means is that she tells the truth,
Mm-hmm.
but no one hears it.
Yeah, really. She tells the truth and no one hears it. Must be quite a thing, you know, to be in that position.
And I chose that name.
You chose it.
Well, my mom did,
Okay.
but my dad didn't want that
Okay.
name.
Oh, really?
But at 11 years old, I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, well, I
You
actually
had
do.
another name?
Yeah.
Which was?
Candace.
Okay.
Mm.
Cassandra.
Mm.
That's,
Yeah, I didn't
that's
know.
a lot more.
I didn't know the mythology back then. Yeah.
All right. So I want to just say, before we start, that this is going to be a space that I hope you'll feel very safe in, and we keep everything very confidential. Whatever comes out here never gets repeated and never gets talked about. But
Yeah, that's it. So what's the camera about?
okay, that is that there is an understanding that we're doing this with your permission.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I don't talk about it, but it's going to be recorded. If there is at the end of the session the wish that it shouldn't be used, I think you should be free to say I don't want this to be
Absolutely.
recorded. Okay.
Absolutely.
So it's not a compulsive thing. Normally I never do this, but we have this camera
And I'm going, let's use it. So seriously though, if something comes up where you're like, oh my god, I really don't want this out there, then
Sure.
and you're
Thank
always ready, you know, any time stop the process and say, this one I don't want to have, okay?
Okay.
And we can edit it afterwards if you so wish. We
yeah,
promise
so
you-
everything is malleable and flexible.
Everything will give you that assurance.
Thank you.
The other thing is total unconditional support for whatever you bring, okay, and total respect. Like there will never be anything that will, you know, be trivial or trivialized or patronized. It's about you now, okay? At the same time, it's your process. It's you do with it what you wish. You're free to decide how. And I'm not going to, after this, you know, talk about the stuff. It's yours. You're going to instruct me. You're going to inform me, and I'm going to work with you in whatever you work. So it's okay.
Cool.
All about you.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay. Good. So tell me what the issue is. What do you want to work with?
Smoking at a surface level, but I suppose it's the need for stimulation or heightened experiences or something.
Okay.
I don't know what smoking is about, but it's like, why do you need to have, something?
And this is an issue for you? It's a problem that you're smoking?
Yeah.
That you're needing some kind of stimulation?
And the thing is, I've quit many times, so I
Okay.
know that I can quit,
Okay.
but why do I always go back to it? I mean, I know it's addictive, but like,
Right.
I've quit for 2 years at one stage,
Okay.
and it's like an annual.
But there must be something that, you know, attracts you to smoking. Otherwise you wouldn't do it at all.
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, what do you like about it?
It's something to do. I don't,
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, so you're not sure why you actually do it.
no, I suppose I don't. I mean, I've
Okay.
thought about it. It's like, why? Life is kind of dull if you don't have things that give you different experiences of something. You know?
Okay. So if you don't smoke, it feels like life is dull.
Or if you
And
don't,
a bit empty.
if you don't smoke and you don't drink, and I would love to not drink. I'd love to not smoke.
So this is
Yeah.
all about. It's also about drinking.
Yeah.
anything that, what? Does it stimulate you?
Yeah, but not in ways that I necessarily enjoy. I don't necessarily enjoy drinking, but I mean, you do to some degree, of course. I mean, otherwise you wouldn't do it. But and the odd smoke I enjoy, but 90% of the time that I'm smoking, I don't enjoy it.
You don't enjoy it, but if you didn't do it, how would you feel? If you did no smoking and no drinking, how would your life be?
I feel like I'm missing out on some kind of, or just kind of be like flat.
Okay.
And so you kind of need something to give you these changes of pace or changes of.
So, cigarettes and drink are these, what can we say, things that bring some contours to your landscape.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe that's what it is, contours.
Because otherwise it would be like a very flat landscape. And that would be boring.
Yeah.
And that would be empty.
I wouldn't say I'm terrified of boring. I'm just, I enjoy things that, like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Some interesting reflections and,
So why is it an issue? I mean, it brings you some,
because my body hates it.
So you know that it's not good for you.
My body is just like, I feel like it sucks energy out of me when I have a cigarette. I can feel my heart rate go up. It actually stresses me out. I feel stressed.
So you see the conflict here. There's a part of you that wants it, and there's a part of you that doesn't want it, and you know your body doesn't like it. But there's a part of you that likes it.
Yes, and
it likes to have these things.
I have an incredibly sensitive constitution, so I feel terrible after a smoke. And if I drink just a little bit too much than I should, then I spend the whole next day recovering. It's not like, some people can do these things and just are pretty much unaffected, but I seem to be quite affected.
Right. And knowing that, it's still not enough to stop you from doing it.
Yeah, well, I feel like I'm still quite a moderate.
Okay. So it's not
I don't really do
over
things.
the top.
No, I wouldn't say, I'm not.
But it's still too much, it seems, because you're sensitive.
Or I've got these conflicting belief systems and viewpoints that, like wanting to be a purist and wanting to live a perfect existence, and then another part of me wanting to explore things that don't fit into the perfect picture of, it's like maybe it is that conflict of.
Okay. So the purist is aligned with the body.
Yeah.
Purist knows that if I live pure life, my body will be happy, and I will feel good.
And I'll sleep well, and my consciousness will be clear, and my perceptions will be clearer.
Yeah. But this other part of you likes the activity, likes the excitement, likes
the pendulum swing,
the adventure, likes the change. Not happy just with this kind of monotonous, pure existence. Okay. So it must be quite difficult for you to negotiate your life through this. You must be kind of constantly pulled backwards and forwards.
Yeah. I manage.
You obviously do.
But it's a conflict. It's an internal conflict. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Everything in moderation. Like you can smoke every now and again. It's not such a bad thing.
Right. So I'm hearing, as long as there is this drive to enjoy the different things and to explore all these different things, there's going to be conflict. Do you think this is something that you really need to work through? Is it this contrast? Is it something that requires resolution?
I don't know.
Are you happy with this state of things?
Well, I can see see myself doing this for the rest of my life, potentially. So if I could come to grips with it, it might save me a lot of, there's a lot of kind of internal conflict. And
That's probably quite wise, what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you've characterized two aspects. The one is this generalized conflict between these two parts of yourself, and the other is specific to smoking and drinking, which are harmful. And you do that because there's this one who likes the ups and downs or the movement of life. Yeah. So which should we work with? Is it specifically the cigarettes that you still want to work with, or is it this conflicting situation?
No, it's the conflicting situation.
So you feel
because it manifests in all different kinds of ways. I mean, even
so that's more essential, more
definitely
basic.
Even in my spiritual seeking, it's not something that I battle with the most. This idea of duality and the light and the dark exists, and actually it's really the same thing ultimately. The good and the bad, and the light and the dark, and the ups and downs. You can't have the one without having the other. So they're actually the same thing. So why can't you explore the dark as much as you explore the light? But I don't know.
Are you saying they both have place?
Yes, and I do believe that. But I mean, it doesn't really serve me necessarily to explore. I don't really know how to not fuse the two, but kind of have the two in balance.
Your head's saying, it's fine to have them both.
Well, because they both exist, and so if they both exist, then there must be a place for them.
But you can't seem to live in a state of acceptance, or you're not at peace with this division.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't really know, and I feel like the striving completely for good and wholesome and whatever. I just kind of feel a bit. That's boring. Firstly, and also you're discounting a whole other half of existence.
So then you swing over to the other side, and you let go of the purity and the.
I suppose, yeah.
And then, are you happy in that place?
Oh, I suppose it's kind of fleeting. It's transient.
So
but so is the happiness when you pursue light and purity. It's also transient,
Okay. So you don't seem to be happy in either place.
But
it seems that's why you keep jumping from one into the other.
I suppose, yeah. I don't know.
I mean, what is the reality? You're in there for a while, and you're feeling this is good, and then suddenly you get bored.
Yeah.
And then you jump into the other place, and then you're swimming around there and enjoying, and then suddenly what happens? You get sick.
Yeah.
Or you're tired of that. And then are you going to the next thing and trying that?
I suppose so, yeah.
Or do you go back into, I must purify myself, I must get healthy?
Yeah, back into purify myself, get
So
healthy.
it's a jumping, seesawing from one state into the other. There's someone who's clearly not really comfortable in either place.
I suppose, yeah.
Okay. So bottom line is, someone is not clear and certain and happy, content, wherever she is. She gets quite quickly dissatisfied.
Yep.
Not a steady, happy place.
Yeah.
And because of that, you find yourself in these uncomfortable places, boring, or stimulated but then unhappy, not very, really interested, but doing it because, it seems better than being just in a boring place.
Yeah.
But not the best.
I mean, there's moments of, wow, this is the best.
Yeah. But that you can't sustain for long.
No, but can anyone? I mean,
Maybe not. But you're not seemingly okay with it. Or are you?
no, I'm not. Even though I think intellectually I understand.
Yeah.
You know, I understand that life, that's just how life goes. You know?
Yeah. So this is what I'm hearing, you know, you're
Yeah.
saying, yeah, it seems to be, it should be okay. This is how life is.
Yeah.
Your head is saying, yeah, this is, you know, these light and dark.
Yeah, and there are ups and downs.
And there's ups and downs. We can never be, you know, in a bliss all the time.
Mhm.
But
But-
somewhere
But living that is, yeah.
it's not okay. There's a part of you that is not accepting it
Yeah.
because she's always on the move.
Yeah.
And
Or
she's,
look, his mind is somewhere else, or heart is somewhere else.
it's always somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's never really okay right where she is.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you wish you could do about the situation, Cassandra?
Well, I'm trying to cultivate meditation and things that bring me back, surrender, surrender, surrender.
Surrender to what?
To whatever is happening right now.
So you're trying to. So if you
Yeah,
were
there it
to,
is, there it is.
if you were to actually now imagine the ideal that you would be wishing to attain, what would you be wishing for? What would you wish you could do about the situation that you're not getting there, and you're always looking for it and never finding it?
Well, I think it comes down to this enoughness. What's enough?
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
the moment is never enough.
Okay.
The experience is never enough.
Okay.
I'm never enough.
Okay. So what would you wish for?
Well, I really wish to be to disidentify with myself, you know?
To disidentify with yourself.
Yeah, because I think, well, the problem comes in when you're just like so focused on yourself all the time. I think that's where it comes from.
So which self are you talking about? Which aspect of yourself are you talking about? Are you saying the whole self?
The human self, I mean,
Okay, but that's a very big
yeah, I
word.
suppose it is a big word. But I suppose it's maybe it's being consumed with all of the not enoughs.
Okay, so there's a self, there's a part of you that is always feeling dissatisfied. It's never enough.
Yeah.
And you're wanting to, what are you wanting to do with that? Because she seems to be the issue.
Yeah.
You know, she runs your life.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
projects into
She
everything.
pushes you all over because it's never enough, and then you
Mm.
jump into the next thing and it's never enough, and you jump in because she's not happy
Yeah.
and content
Yeah.
wherever you land.
So I suppose it would be to appease her somehow.
To appease her.
Yeah.
Do you know that she needs to be appeased?
Well, I've come into contact with what I think is my infantile ego,
Mm-hmm.
and I think some of us bring that into. I mean, I think she's come with me into my 20s quite strongly,
Okay.
and maybe it's her. I don't know. She was projecting into my life quite strongly.
Okay.
This child who needs to be loved and needs attention and needs, you know. So I met her last year
Okay.
October.
Okay.
And I didn't quite realize how loud she was screaming at me.
Okay.
And her thing, I mean, like, because her thing is, yeah, I need help and I need loving.
Right.
And me, look at me, help me. So I think I've made some progress on
Okay.
with her a little
Okay.
bit.
Yes.
I mean, so some of the manifestations of that is, you know, like a ditzy kind of persona. He forgets things and he's never like forgets details and he never quite a bit of heads in the clouds and whatever.
Okay.
And I think that is kind of like you calling out for a little bit of help and guidance, and because I mean that kind of behavior just screams this person needs some structure and some help in her life, you know. But she doesn't. She's completely capable. But it's that kind of behavior that's projected by the unseen inner child who is screaming, "Love me, help me. I need some guidance. I need some nurturing."
And you're feeling something like that inside yourself. Always feels it's not enough where she is, and she's always running around.
Yeah,
looking,
and a bit
and
like,
no one to.
"Will you give me some love? Oh, or will you for this?" You know, like always not. She's always looking,
Right.
and she's never.
And she's hoping cigarettes will do it, and pure life will do it, and this will do it, and that
meditation
will
will
do
do
it.
it. And if she understands herself a little bit better, or maybe this book will give her some insight into whatever.
So she is running the show, and you just letting her.
Well, I've only just met. Well, yeah, I mean, like,
Okay.
yeah.
So now you're starting to
I've
notice.
seen her.
Well, what would you wish you could do about it? You're saying appease, because appease means, you know, like.
Appease means maybe just like lock her in a room and give her some candy, but maybe that's not too good.
Yeah, maybe not.
But yeah, and make her feel like everything's okay,
Okay.
and that she's okay, and that everything's gonna be fine.
So if you reassure her, or is that what you're saying, or if you were to do this, telling her everything's going to be okay, everything's fine, would that be enough to satisfy her and to allow?
Yeah, I haven't quite figured out what she needs to make you know, to counter the behavior.
Okay.
I don't really know. Yeah.
Well, she is pulling you backwards and forwards and all over the place. What is it that you want in life? Clearly, this is not okay. You can see it could be this child who is pulling you all over the place. But what is it that you want?
The golden middle line.
Okay.
Yeah, peace, you know.
Peace. Okay. And you can't get that while you're being like pulled everywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, and I think part of it also is this shape-shifting quality. I don't know if it's there since birth. I don't know how much of our archetypes are kind of like there at birth, or how much we develop them. I don't know. The shapeshifter, she's never quite sure who she should be.
Okay. Okay.
And I don't know if that's linked somehow to seeking a certain outcome, so being a certain way to achieve the outcome.
So she's trying to be this, and she's trying to be that, and she's exploring,
Trying
but
this,
she's
doing that.
never sure what is her identity.
Yeah.
Who is she?
Or even does it even matter? You know, and like I think the beauty of the shapeshifter as well is that the whole idea is that the identity isn't that important, really.
And that's what you think.
That's what I tell myself.
That's what you tell yourself. But she is in it, and she doesn't think like that.
Yeah.
She just moves you all around the place, and you get carried around with her.
Yeah.
And your life is affected in the consequences.
Yeah.
And there will be, as you say, it will go on and on and on like that.
Yeah.
So, as long as she's in the driving seat, you're out of control. This vehicle is going to go according to her needs, or her inability to decide what she wants, who she is.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So, make a clear wish, what you would wish you could do about it.
Well, I suppose then it would be to take back control.
Okay. To take back control, in order that, what can you do with it once you have taken back control?
Well, so that I can direct my life.
Uh-huh.
And
For
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at least direct how I perceive what's going on.
Right.
I'm not too sure how much control we have over
Yeah.
our lives, but
But
perception of, yeah.
at the moment, you have no real control because someone else has a lot more control.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a bit of head control, and you can kind of, there's something that just pulls you there, and then pulls you there, and
Yeah.
most of the time you don't know what it is, and I think it's this
Yeah.
part of you. Okay. So if you had more control, you could change the direction of your life.
Yeah. Or if that part of me was healthier, I suppose, or not so not so uncomfortable, or not, you know.
Okay. Well, let's go and see what we can do about that.
Okay.
Okay. I think, can you see that making a wish, it's like giving clear direction as to where you know you need to go.
Yeah.
So we're almost like jumping into the future and saying, yeah, I want to reach that point, and this is the way to get there.
Yeah. Because it's setting intention.
Yeah. And it's a light that we can now follow.
Okay.
It's the guidance that you bring from the future. So we can either start with the one who's wishing, who has obviously got some inner guidance there and wisdom, because she is, how does she make a wish otherwise?
Mm.
Or we can start from the other side, the one who's actually controlling you. Which would you like to begin with?
Yeah, let's start with her. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, take any example. You want to do the cigarette lighter, or the one who pulls you this way or that way. Give me an example of how it actually works for you. How you actually experience it.
Something I've been thinking about a lot lately is a tendency to, especially with quite dominant personalities, if they assert something in a situation, my immediate reaction will be to cower away. Even though if I was in the moment in myself, I would very easily say something to counter them.
Yes.
Be able to step into my own power and be like,
Yes.
hey, well, actually not so much, and this, that, and the next thing. But this tendency to be like, oh, they must be right and I must be wrong, and to be like, and I've even felt myself like averting head, like cowering away, and it's really not. I mean, it's there. Obviously, it exists in me, but there's some other thing which is being overpowered.
Sure. So this is that part of you that controls what happens in your life?
I suppose so, yeah.
The one who's never got enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see her. You want to feel what it's like when you get overpowered, disempowered by dominant parts of you. Can you just try and imagine what that's like? Remember what it's like. Visualize what it's like. And then sense what's going on inside you. Sense how the body experiences it when you're in this place, in this disempowered place. And then let your body go there and express it, gesture it, form it, let your body shape it. The person who is disempowered. Shake yourself out. You want to get up and release that. How are you doing? Are you okay?
Yeah, fine.
Come step here. Just check yourself. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good.
You're feeling okay. I'd ask you to have a look at her from where you're standing. Can you see how she looks?
Yeah.
Can you describe to me how she looks?
Just sunken chest and
Okay.
totally closed.
Okay. How do you feel about her looking at her like that?
Yeah, I feel sorry for her.
You feel sorry
Yeah.
because
She just gives it away so easily.
okay.
Yeah.
Who have we got there? And how old do you think she is?
She's probably about 5.
5.
Yeah.
So she just gives it away. Is there pressure on her? Is there something that's making her turn away like that? Taking her power away?
It's probably shame.
Shame. She feels ashamed
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Well, I don't think. Yeah, I don't really know.
But you know that she's ashamed. You know that.
Yeah.
But you don't know why she's ashamed and what's making her feel like that. And you don't have to answer that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's partly father leaving kind of thing, but
Because at that time father left.
father left younger, but I don't know if that's all of it, you know, like I don't feel like that could explain it all, because I had very loving parents anyways. I mean. But maybe, because even I had a stepdad, but he came in, but he's also, I mean, he's a great guy, but just also not a very loving, but also had his own problems to deal with, and quite depressive. So for most of the time that I've known him, very loving, but also suicidal and depressed. I mean, other dad that left, so like maybe. But like loving mom, you know, so I don't know if that's it.
I mean, do you think it's important for us to understand why she is? Because she's reacting in a way here that's taking her power away.
Yeah.
But something must do it. There must be something inside of her that's making her feel ashamed. So it's for you to say whether it's important to understand. You know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's important.
Okay, then we stay with the fact that she is feeling ashamed and that she can't face a strong presence because she gets this shame feeling and she turns away and it's too much to bear. Okay. And what does she do with that then when she turns away? How does she behave and where does it go to?
I think she just withdraws and lives in like a private world.
Okay.
On her own.
Alright, so there she is, doing her own thing, quietly, withdrawing. How does this fit into the context of the issue that we had, of someone who's going there and feeling unhappy and going there? What happens to her? Where does that fit in?
I think if you're not out there living, or you're not fulfilled because you're hiding all the time, running away from. If you're hiding, then you can't be fulfilled.
Okay.
And so you just keep on looking for stuff that's gonna make you feel fulfilled.
So So there's a feeling here when she withdraws that she's empty. She's not being fulfilled.
Yeah.
She's not being filled.
Yeah.
Life is not given because she's removed herself.
Because she's not in the life thing, yeah.
She's not there. She's removed herself. So she's always moving out of one situation. Does she go into another one then? Where does she go once she's withdrawn? What happens to her? If she's feeling like this is dangerous, or this is not good enough, I can't stay here. She's withdrawing. What does she do in the next step in her life? Does she stay in that withdrawn place?
No, she doesn't.
So what does she do?
Oh, she just tries something else. If she tried something and it didn't work, then she'll try something else.
Let's go back there. I want you to go into a withdrawn point until you feel you've had enough of that. What do you do with it? You withdraw into it. And when you get to a certain point, what do? Where do you go from here? Feel the impulse. Feel what the next move is. Sense into your body. And then move into that. And let's see what you do. Very interested to see.
Yeah, she just tries on something else.
Let's do something else now.
Yeah, she just becomes someone else.
Like what? Show me.
Well, she becomes someone who feels like they're okay.
And then what she do with it?
That's who she becomes for a while, and she puts on whatever kinds of. She walks the talk and.
A new persona.
Yeah.
Show me one.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
It's just she enacts what she would like to be, or someone who feels a little bit more at ease with the world and
Like
herself.
smoking a cigarette?
Yeah.
Imagine you doing that.
Like smoking a cigarette. Or
Good. Do it. Okay.
yeah.
Good. Come a little bit there. So, how would you call that? Who have we got here?
Yeah. I'm not buying it,
You're not buying it, but you're seeing it.
Yeah.
You don't like it, or what? When you say you're not buying it, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, it just doesn't. I mean, obviously, it doesn't feel. And my body clearly tells me, like, what are you talking about? That's not who you are.
You're saying that's not you.
No.
Then who else is it? If it's not you.
I don't know.
You mean you don't like
No.
who you are here?
Well, I do. She's okay. She's cool. Yeah. But I do not like
But
her.
you don't think she should be doing that, or?
It just still doesn't give me what I'm looking for.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
So that is not the answer.
No.
That is one aspect of you.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. We're looking and seeing. Because that one runs the show now.
Yeah.
And earlier it was the withdrawal.
Yeah.
So what happens after a while? Go back there. And you're in the series. And this goes on for a while. And just follow it. And imagine we can accelerate time a bit. And just drop into that, what happens next?
Guilt
Go into the guilty one.
and yeah, like maybe a little bit of self-loathing,
Right.
a little bit.
Okay, feel that guilty and self-loathing. Express that. Become the guilty one. Show it so that you can see it. Shake it off. Are you out? Are you still feeling it?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good.
You okay?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, I just think.
Let's fall into the next
Yeah.
experience, right?
Yeah.
And so it goes on until you come back to the first one and just
Yeah, and it's just a mirror reading of like this. It's just like a different version of the same thing.
And what is essentially going on inside there?
Self-loathing?
Is that what's there in everyone, in them all? What's the common thread?
Yeah, I think it is. And I think they're all searching a little bit to be someone they're not. Or, yeah.
Trying to become someone
Else.
else.
Yeah. And then it's just like unfulfilling. And then it results in perpetuation of the not liking the self that's looking to be not the self.
Right.
And then being not the self creates the self-loathing.
So she thought becoming that one would give her
Yeah.
what she's looking
Something.
for. And then she thinks that one is going to become, but it's because there's a desperate need to become something that she's not. Do you know what she needs to become? Do you know what she's missing?
No.
Well, what do you think would make a difference for her?
What if she knew she would have found it?
She can't. So she's on this impossible quest because
Yeah.
she
thinks something's missing.
Well, is something missing? What do you think?
I mean, intellectually, of course. I mean,
What is it that you think?
something that makes her different, or
Well, she's trying all these outer persona,
Yeah.
trying this, trying that, but none of it gives her what she's. So it can't be, in the outer quest.
realm.
Yeah. But she doesn't like herself. That's why she's always trying to find another part of herself. she's never happy with where she is.
Yeah.
So what does she need, and what's the problem?
Well, it's the self-loathing, it's the belief in ugliness.
She believes she's ugly.
Yeah.
She believes she's not good enough.
Yeah. It's a worthiness thing.
It's a worthiness thing. So what is she needing to change that?
I don't know what makes people feel worthy.
Well, what makes a child feel worthy?
Love, I suppose.
So she's not getting that. Certainly not when she's like that.
But I think she's somehow cut off the life supply at some point.
Okay.
Because it's there, I think.
Well, she can't accept it. Or she can't get it. Why not? Because she's unworthy
Yeah.
of accepting it.
Yeah.
If you're so unworthy, then
If you don't believe that
you're
you can have it.
undeserving.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that how you feel
Yeah.
yourself right now?
Well, I mean, not all the time, but it's definitely there. Yeah.
Okay. So you're in the same place right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Unworthiness. Self-loathing. Okay. Feel it. Now, feel it again. The unworthiness. And go more into actually expressing it. The one who's really feeling unworthy. If you were to act this out, if you were to show the unworthy one, how would you express it? How would you give a real bodily shape to it? What would you do? you love to do?
Love to dance.
You love to dance. What are you really like good at?
Dancing.
Dancing. And when you're dancing, do you feel you're in your power, in your worthiness? You show me how it is?
Oh.
Hey, I love dancing. I really love dancing. So it's just
I
about...
like dancing with crowd.
Okay. Yeah. You should have seen us this weekend. Hey, Donna. Wow. What the dancing did to us all. It was just amazing. Everyone was just in their beauty and their incredible, authenticity. Are you too?
You mean right now?
Well, when you're dancing,
Yeah, I think most of the time.
you remember what that's like. Can you really feel it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There's this one who doesn't feel it. You see her? Can she see you?
I don't know. I think she's too often caught up in her own.
Of course, that's true. How would it be if you show her what worthiness is all about? What do you think would make a difference? What would you wish you could do about this one who's just feeling so undeserving, so...
I wish I could slap her, quite frankly. Just be like, hey.
And you think that would make her feel more
I don't
worthy
know.
of herself?
I don't know about that.
But that's how you sometimes feel.
Yeah, because it's pathetic.
Yeah?
It's like, get over yourself, you know?
Okay. Get over yourself because you are pathetic.
Yeah.
Look at yourself. Speaking like that, I've got complete respect for you because I can understand having someone like this in your life must be pretty difficult to live with.
Yeah.
Always tripping you up, always making you feel like that. You see her?
Yeah.
Speaking like that to her? 5.5-year-old child? Do you think that's okay? But you do it, obviously.
Yeah.
Or do you think it's just one moment now?
No, I think that.
So there's an ongoing... Who's this? Can you name this?
Yeah, she's the strong one.
What is she doing in this moment?
Reprimanding.
Reprimanding. Okay. And this one feels how?
Oh, even less capable.
Less capable.
Yeah.
Shame maybe?
Yeah.
Unworthy?
Mhm.
She's never good enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are we going to do about that, Cassandra?
I don't know.
Well, it's here. This is the issue. This is the problem. Because she's always feeling ashamed and always unworthy and always not good enough because that one is always reprimanding and telling you how pathetic she is.
Yeah, she's the purest, I think.
And she's the purest, the one who wants the perfection. Yeah. This one forces, you know,
Yeah.
all the changes.
She rebels.
And she has to keep searching, trying, hoping, and discovering it's always never good enough. So what do you think would help?
reassuring her? Or
Reassuring who? Her or her?
her?
Her. But you've got this very powerful person here reprimanding her all the time.
Yeah. So tell her to back down, yeah.
Okay. So it's clear there has to be some intervention,
Yeah.
and you're going to have to do it because there's no one else. So who do you need to be? Who do you need to become in order to do something to change this dynamic, this very unhealthy dynamic?
Temperance.
You need temperance.
Temperance.
Okay. Yeah. How do you need to be in yourself to really stand in the situation and
Between the two.
change it? Do you have to be in between them? Well,
uh,
I'm trying to just ask you what you think would really change this.
But if they would get along more, I suppose.
If they would get along.
Yeah.
But she has got a certain purist ideal of how things should be, and she doesn't fit the picture.
Yeah.
And the more she's got that picture, the less she's going to
Yeah.
be able to,
Yeah.
to produce the goods.
Yeah.
So how are you going to solve this problem?
I don't know.
Well, then it's just going to go on and on and on
Yeah.
until you decide what you wish to do about it. It'll go on and on. What do you think would ideally solve this problem?
She had less power.
Okay.
They
So
both, I mean, they both take over at different times.
yeah, they do. So they control. And remember you said, I wish to control the situation.
Yeah.
So control it. That's your wish. But you have to be clear as to how and who's going to be controlling.
But I'm not sure who that person is
Well,
outside of those two people.
Look at the situation. They are controlling it. This is not working. This is destructive.
Yeah.
It's going to lead you into all kinds of difficulties. So, what do we need to do? What needs to happen to change things?
They both need to have less power, or
So ideally, what would you like to see happening here? On this side.
for her to be less heavy and a
Okay.
little bit happier and
Okay. And this one?
carefree.
And carefree. And how is she going to get there without help?
She needs to be nurtured a little bit.
Okay. So she needs to be nurtured, like you said, reassured,
Mm-hmm. Loved.
loved. So someone is going to do that, which means you are going to have to find the capacity to nurture, love, reassure. Can you imagine yourself in that place? Nurturing, caring, loving. Do you know something about that?
Yeah.
Remember what it's like in plants.
Yeah.
What do you become when you have to nurture, love, and care for plants?
To get a bit out of yourself. Or
How do you have to be? Just think about it, picture it, when you have to offer that kind of help. How do you be?
you have to be open.
You have to be open. Just
Yeah.
put yourself right in there. Open. And what do you have to bring there? You have to do something.
You have
Yeah.
to bring yourself, bring
Yeah.
energy.
And you have to have something to bring. Imagine you've got something that you can bring. Yeah, just position. Imagine you are the one who nurtures. Be a nurturer. Grow the nurturing.
Not very strong.
You have to grow it. Just come on you can work with that. Because you know what it is. You've thought it, you've wished it. Now just work your way into being it. And what do you have to do about this one? Because as long as this one is putting it down, your nurturing is going to, it's like, you know, stones being thrown across the compost tube. What do you need to do with that part of yourself?
I can't read from my hand.
Well, you can take some control.
Just silence her. Like enough, no more.
Okay. Do that.
Yeah, just.
Right now. But find the power and control to do that.
Yeah.
Feel
Yeah.
the strength in yourself.
Yeah.
Eh? She's going to walk all over you when you're like this. Because I promise you that. When you've got some vines that are strangling a plant, what do? You just walk towards the vine like, should I have got to look at scissors here? Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, you know. This one is strangling her.
Yeah.
You realise that?
Yeah, enough now.
You walk towards it and you actually search yourself. Go do it.
Stop.
Okay. Okay. And when you really are in this position, go back here. Inhale. Telling her. Pulling her down. Making her feel ashamed. Do that. Act it out.
Don't want it anymore.
You don't want it, but it's there, so do it.
You're pathetic.
Yeah, and go right towards her. And, like, act on her so that she becomes this unworthy thing.
Stop whinging.
And she cringes. Can you see it? Okay. Alright, step out. That is the power. You've got to stand up again. Find that assertion in yourself. And step in. And really, this time, tell her who's in control.
No more.
No more.
No more.
Okay. This has to grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll find the power as you understand the dynamics, and as you go into it, you will see you cannot live like that
No.
anymore, and you're going to have to find the strength in yourself to manage it.
Yeah.
And you can nurture it then. Would you permit yourself to do that right now?
This seems a little bit easier.
That's an easy one.
Yeah.
And does she hear? Does she accept you?
Yeah.
Does she feel worthy enough to accept you? Well, she will now, because this one's out of the way.
Yeah. She's a bitch. Jeez. I
But
didn't realize.
You have to work with her because she's doing it for some reason. You know, she's also got her issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's pretty harsh on you. You'll have to explore where she's come from. You know?
Yeah.
Why was she there at 5 years of age? Okay.
Yeah.
That's for another time. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Sure. We.
that's it. How are you?
Sure. That was. Yeah. I mean, the craziest part was when I reprimanded her, and you were like, "Whoa! Did you see what you just did there?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do that all the time."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without recognizing, really realizing
Yeah.
what's happening.
Yeah. Without being conscious of
Yeah.
it, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's about now, you know.
We got two archetypes that are so alive. But yeah, do you nurture the go between now?
Well, you have to do it all. You have to get to know, familiarize yourself with all these three aspects. Because they are three archetypes, and you know, they are your issues that you're going to have to deal with for a long time.
Yeah.
And so it's about, you know, feeling into the one and going there and looking so that you can really understand her, and going back and looking, you know, and then making sure you're in a good position. Listen to her, hear her, get to know her by doing that. But then do that one too. Go in there and do it so that you can see really who it is. And you can only do it by getting into her skin and then stepping out and then finding the power, the resource that is going to stand there. And now it's about enough. Stop. It will change maybe. Maybe you'll have to work with her and, you know, start to understand. Maybe this is a rebellious teenager, who knows what. You know, you'll have to understand that. And then all the time just grow this other part. You have to be a nurturer and you have to be a protector.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Well, at the beginning, the nurturing was so tough. I was like, how do you do this? How does a nurturer look?
That's something we have to now explore.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she's trying to not be affected by the world.
Yeah.
So any sign of being affected is like, no, there's no place for that.
Okay. So you'll get to know their profile, you get to know their character, you know, you get to know what moves and shakes and how they think. You've got a way of thinking, you've got, you know, particular feelings, sensitivities, history, or biography that behave in a certain kind of way. So just get to know them and then manage them and change them, teach them.
I always say draw them, write a poem about them, personify them,